Hey guys, what's up? This is Ryan JAUNZEMIS. In today's video, we're going to be discussing for you guys who have no game, who are a bit older, and still can't manage to get laid, should you get a hooker? Alright guys, so today's topic could be pretty sensitive for some people. Some people may completely disagree with this, and that's fine. I'm going to give you basically the best dating advice that I can here. And I talk about all this stuff in my new book, How to Pick Up Hot Women, but I want to get really deep into it here for you guys who are contemplating this or wondering, man, I'm 26 years old and I still have never gotten laid. Should I get a hooker? Some of you guys are 40, 50 years old. You've never had a girlfriend. You are kissless virgins. You've never had sex, you have no idea what a pussy feels like, and you're like, man, I don't know, should I just spend $100? Should I just get a hooker? Does it count? We're going to discuss all of these types of things. And we're also going to touch on the other side of this subject, which is where a lot of people will see that, oh, he's a dating coach, he wants you to just pay him money for him to tell you to be confident. Why don't you just pay a hooker? A lot of these guys, I see them in the comments, oh, don't get a dating coach, just get a hooker, bro. Okay, and that's not going to work either. We're going to get into all of that in this video, so stay tuned all the way till the end. We've got a lot of information that I'm about to hit you with, so let's get into it. The first thing I think that I want to say is thank you, actually, to all the sex workers out there in the porn industry, hookers, all you guys that are helping guys out. Pretty awesome. It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. Being a hooker is kind of like being a plumber, okay? There are 70-year-old guys out there who can't get laid, and they need to get their fucking dick sucked and their balls licked and emptied. And just like nobody wants to clean a toilet, right? No one wants to unclog shit out of a toilet. Guess what? Somebody's got to do it, and that's why we have plumbers. Well, old guys need to get their fucking balls drained and their cock sucked, and it's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it, and that's why we have hookers. So thank you for stepping up and doing those tough jobs. So the first fact that I want to get into is the fact of when you have sex with a hooker, does it count? Does it quote unquote count? No, it does not. Here's why. Not that it's not a bad thing. Having sex with a hooker is sex, but it's not getting laid, and that's two different things. Let me explain. Guys have what's called a lay count, or an LC, or you might call it a total score or a body count. Now that's how many girls you've actually successfully had sex with, that you've cold approached, whether in a bar or a nightclub, or you met her through your social circle, or you met her online, Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, anything like that. If you've successfully been able to approach a girl, start a conversation with her, get her phone number, take her on a date, and eventually have sex with her, that counts to your lay count, or to your total score, to your body count. My personal lay count is somewhere close to 300. I don't know, because I actually lost track. I haven't kept any records over the last couple of years. I lost count in the low 220s. Those are girls that I cold approached, took out on dates, or met them on Tinder or Plenty of Fish and invited them back to my house and had sex with them. Let's say, just for the sake of things, let's just say 300, right? That's my lay count. But if you want to talk about the total number of girls that I've had sex with, it may be closer to like 600 or 700 when we're talking about hookers. But I don't count those, and I don't talk about those, right? There's been plenty of times when I'm exhausted. I just want to get my dick sucked. I just want to get my balls licked. I just want to fuck a girl. And then I want her to leave afterwards, because then I either want to go back to work doing what I was doing, or I want to go to sleep. I had a long day at work. I just want to fuck. Go to sleep. And so back in the day, this was much more prevalent when there was a site called Backpage, and Craigslist used to have a lot of hookers on it, where you could go on Craigslist and basically say, oh, it would be like, I don't know, Rosalie, and say, for 150 kisses, she'll basically come to your house, suck your dick, let you fuck her, and then she'll leave. Now, when that happens, you get the sex, and it's a great little pump and dump. It's a great way to get your rocks off. And then the girl leaves, but you can't count that to your lay count. It doesn't actually count as getting laid. It's just sex. It's just a good time. That's all it is. And there's nothing bad with that. I think that's a wonderful thing, especially if you're a guy who's like, man, I'm tired. I just want to get laid. I don't want to have to deal with going out to a nightclub. I don't want to put on a suit and a tie. I don't want to pay a $40 entrance fee, talk to all these different girls and try to get one on a date and do the whole song and dance, right? I don't want to do all that. I just want the sex, and then I want to go back to what I was doing. That's why I think hookers are a great option to use and to help, like, as a stress relief. It's like going to a massage therapist and getting a massage. Sometimes you need that. The other great thing about getting a hooker is that they are a professional. They will suck your dick, right? Your girlfriend, she may not do all of the nasty, dirty things that you want her to do. So, for example, with a hooker, when you pay a hooker $50 or $100 or $300 or whatever her going rate is, and you say, I want a blowjob, that girl will suck your dick. She'll put the pressure. She knows how to suck a dick. It's her job, right? She's a professional at it. Your girlfriend or some girl that you just met in like a nightclub and you're taking her out, you know, on a first date or something like that, and then she gives you head, yeah, she might suck your dick, but she's not going to suck your dick like a hooker. The hooker's going to, like, boom, she's going to put pressure on it. She's going to be stroking it. She's going to cradle your balls. She's going to be like, yeah, come in, you know. She's going to talk dirty to you. Yeah, fuck my mouth, daddy, whatever. Like, the way that you have sex with a hooker is going to be much different than the sex that you're going to get from your girlfriend or from a girl that you just met. Also, with hookers, whatever you want, you pay for it and they do it. Hey, I want to have sex with you and 4 of your friends. She'll give you a rate. There's no argument. She'll be like, okay, well, you know, for me and a friend, it's $1,200. For me and 2 friends, it's like, you know, $4,800. For me and, you know, 4 other people, it may be like 10 grand, right? But if you're a guy who's got a shit ton of money to burn, boom, you hand her the money. Next thing you know, you're having sex with 5 girls. No argument. Try to do that with your girlfriend or your wife and see what kind of resistance she puts up. Go to your wife today. Hey, I want to have sex with you and 4 of your friends. What? She'll go ballistic in most cases, right? You know, unless your wife is bisexual and she's down with that, and that's a very small percentage of relationships. Most wives, most girlfriends, fuck no. You know, she's gonna dump your ass. So with a hooker, you can have all the kind of exact sex that you want, and that's why it's great, because you can say, hey, I have a fantasy. I want to have sex with you and another girl. I want you to both dress like nurses, and I want you to, you know, you can even hand them a script and say, I want you to say these lines or whatever you want to do. I want you to dress in this specific outfit. I want you guys to do whatever. And all you got to do is pay them the money and they'll give you the exact sexual fantasy. Again, it's not going to probably work like that in your relationship that you have with your girlfriend. And that's probably definitely not going to happen with a girl that you just met that same day or earlier that day. If you guys have ever seen the movie Wolf of Wall Street, it's a very important movie. I definitely recommend to watch it. And it's a story about a stockbroker named Jordan Belfort, and he made like $50 million. In the movie, he's played by Leonardo DiCaprio. And there's a lot of really good tips in that movie, motivation, productivity, and things like that. But one of the things about Jordan Belfort is that as a multimillionaire, $50 million man, drove the fucking brand new white Ferrari Testarossa, you know, he still got a lot of hookers. Why? You would think, well, the guy's rich. Well, money doesn't just equal pussy. You don't just make a lot of money that's hidden inside of a bank account and then women just magically show up at your door. If money really attracted pussy, then Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos would all have harems of thousands and thousands of beautiful women chasing them, right? But it's not like that, is it? Okay, so just having money doesn't equal pussy. That's another thing. Oh, just make $1 million, bro, and you'll get girls. No. A lot of millionaires still have to get prostitutes because they work 7 fucking days a week. They don't have time for relationships. So they still want to have sex. They can get hookers. They can be the guys to go to the brothel and say, I want to have sex with 20 women. Here's 50 grand. Close the brothel to the public. I'm going to rent out the whole thing. And in the movie, Jordan Belfort, for example, he goes out and he's always buying a lot of cocaine. He's having a lot of hookers and blow, right? He's getting a lot of coke. He's getting hookers. And basically, so he can be up, you know, using a stimulant so he can focus and crunch big numbers. And he doesn't have to go out to a nightclub and waste his time putting on a nice shirt and tie or whatever and talking to ladies and going on, you know, sometimes several dates in order just to get some sex. he could basically be like, I want the sex right now, and after I bust a nut, because a nut equals clarity, and once your head is clear, boom, you can go back to work and start crunching more numbers, get on the phone and basically start making sales. So he would do a lot of coke, right? And then he would have some hookers over. Hooker lays on her back, boom, pump and dump real quick, bust a nut, the girl leaves, boom, and he's right back to work on the phone making sales, and he can focus. He can be clear-headed. He's not thinking in the back of his mind, man, I need to get laid. Man, I need to get a girl. He won't have that sense of like sexual tension or sexual frustration. I talk a lot about this in my other book, 10 Steps to Success. Another one you should definitely check out if you want more motivation and productivity advice, and if you want to make more money. Now, again, a lot of women will disagree with this and basically try to shame you. They'll use shaming tactics, and you can't listen to them. Women have a monopoly on the pussy market. They want you to take them on dates. They want you to pay for that pussy. And that's why women will even shame other women. Oh, she's a whore. She's a, she's a slut. You don't want to do that. She's a worthless hook or whatever. Like, they'll shame you for getting it, and they'll shame the women for doing it because they want you to pay for that pussy. And when you could just basically be like, no, I'm not going to pay you for the pussy. I'm not going to take you for a $300 fucking Olive Garden meal. I'm just going to give this girl $100 and she's going to suck my dick. And I don't have to use any game or techniques to get the sex from her. I just give her the $100. Whereas, in real life, if you want to attract hot women, you need to go to the gym. You need to have a good body. You need to be in shape. You need to be making money. You need to be a good protector, provider. You have to have some level of game for women to naturally want to have sex with you, to basically to open that gate, right? To give you the pussy. Just like in the wild, it's the strong animals, the king of the jungle, the strongest lion, the silverback gorilla. They're the ones that get to have sex with all of the females, and basically all of the other animals, the weaker animals, they get nothing. So just like in the human world, the guys that are the most powerful, the alpha males, they're getting all the women, and basically all the other people are basically getting nothing. But this allows everybody else to basically say, well, if I could just get $100, I can still experience sex. I could still get what the alpha male gets, even though they're the weaker animal. It doesn't mean that they're going to have babies. With a hooker, you are still going to use a condom. You're not having sex to reproduce. You're just basically going through the act of sex. You're getting the pleasure part. A lot of people shame masturbation too. Even in The Wolf of Wall Street, the guy says there's 2 secrets to fucking productivity in this job: cocaine and jerking off. And the guy was like, yeah, I do coke to get focused, and I jerk off twice a day because a nut equals clarity. And he says, sometimes you gotta force yourself. Go in the bathroom in the morning and just fucking rub one out, boom. And then you're out of that horny state of mind and you're just focused. You have that clarity and you can go to work. And then by lunchtime, when you feel that angst, that sexual tension, that desire, that frustration, go to the bathroom, you rub one out, back to normal. Boom, and you can focus in and get back to work and start making money. But yeah, Wolf of Wall Street, definitely recommend watching that movie. It's really good. So those are some of the pros. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the cons. With a hooker, one, it's expensive, especially if you're paying for some prime pussy. Now, I live in Las Vegas. You can go to the hood, you can go to the barrio on the fucking west side of the town, and you'll find $20 hookers or girls that, they just want you to give them a couple bucks so they can smoke some crystal, and they'll suck your dick and they'll let you fuck them. But they're pretty low quality women. They're gonna be like 4s, 5s, 6s. You go to the strip, for example, about 5, 6, 7 in the morning, there will be, girls walking around there, cost about $300 for some half and half, meaning that she'll suck your dick and then she'll lay on her back and let you fuck her, or she'll get in doggy style position, or she'll ride you out, woman on top, cowgirl position. If you go to a brothel, like in Las Vegas here, there's one in Pahrump that's about 45 minutes away, and you're basically going to pay, the first $150 goes straight to the house, and then the girl's going to charge about $150. So the house gets $150, the girl gets $150, so you're still dishing out $300. Plus, if you want to drink there, or you want to give the girl a tip, you want to have a 3-way, you want to get 2 girls, that's like $1,200 basically, like right off the bat, and then depending on what they want to do. Now, if you're a wealthy guy and you don't care about money and you've got money to burn, then it's not really a big deal. But to the average guy who stocks shelves at Home Depot or works at Target and collects fucking grocery carts, that's a lot of money. So getting a hooker, like every now and then, once or twice a year, maybe you want to treat yourself in the same way you would take yourself out to dinner and a movie, or take yourself to a massage parlor, take yourself out to an amusement park or something like that. You want to really treat, oh, I really want to treat myself. I want to buy myself a new TV. I want to buy myself a new leather couch. I'm going to get myself a hooker for, a special occasion. If you're single and it's your birthday or something like that. That's feasible, but to have sex with hookers, 2 or 3 times a week over the course of a year, you're talking thousands and thousands of dollars. Most guys can't afford that. And also, you're not going to develop a real emotional connection. You're never going to find love with a hooker, because the hooker is business. It's all about money with them. They're not there to be your friend or to be your lover or to start dating you. They're there for the transaction. They're there to give you sex in exchange for your money, and then they leave. The guy who wants a girlfriend, you can't just keep having sex with hookers and expect that one of them is going to fall in love with you or something. This is not the movie, Pretty Woman. This isn't Hollywood. This is real life. So if you're a guy who wants a relationship, you got to learn game. It's fine to have sex with a hooker every now and then for fun, but if you want a relationship and you want a girlfriend, you got to learn game, and you got to learn how to approach girls so that you can convert the sex that you get with that girl that you approach into a relationship. Now, as far as the question goes, for guys who are still virgins and just can't manage to get laid, should you get a hooker to lose your virginity? The answer to that question, in my opinion, is absolutely yes. And here's why. Now, a lot of people may disagree. No, man, just keep trying, just go out to nightclub, and that's fine. You definitely should still do that. But meanwhile, the older you get, let's say you're 18 and you still haven't lost your virginity. You never fucked a girl in high school or middle school. Let's say you go on into college and you still don't get laid. Now you're fucking 26 years old, working a job after college, you still haven't got laid. You start to become more like reclusive, you start to be scared of women, you start to be like, you've built up sex so much in your mind, and you're like, oh man, I don't know, like, I gotta go out, I gotta get laid, all this pressure is on you. When instead, you could just basically go to a hooker, let's say it's $100. You give her $100, she lays on her back, you get hard, stick your dick in her with a condom, and then you'll realize, oh, sex isn't that big of a deal. Wow, women aren't that scary, your social awkwardness will go away, the fear of being around women or whatever your issue is, you start to realize that it's just not really a big deal. And once you just go through with the act, it's not technically, like I said, it's not getting laid, but you're still going through the mechanics of having sex. You're getting a girl naked, your dick is getting hard, you're putting on a condom, you pump and dump, and after you have sex with her, you're like, okay, well, I've experienced sex. You're technically not a virgin anymore because you've now experienced it. You just can't count it to your lay count is the thing. Yeah, sure, you've had sex with a girl, you're not a virgin, but you wouldn't want to run out to your friends and be like, yeah, I got laid last night, because you'd be lying. It's very much like, I like to use the metaphor of like a video game. Let's say, for example, there's a video game that you play, and I give you a game genie, or I give you a magic code, up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A, star, right? And you get infinite life, infinite energy, infinite magic powers. You can walk through walls. If you win that game, if you beat that video game using all those codes, you didn't really beat the game. You used a cheat code, so it doesn't really count. But it gives you the experience to say, oh wow, now I know what that game is like, and then you go back and you play it on regular mode or on hard mode. And if you get through it then you've actually won the game. Then you could tell your friends, yeah, I played that game and I beat it. Like I said, if I went out and got a hooker, I don't go to my friends and say, yeah, I got laid last night. No, I might have had sex, I might have got off, busted a quick nut, and then I go back to work, but I don't count that to my lay count. That's just for fun, it's just for practice. Now, for you guys that are getting even older, a lot of you guys, I've talked to you guys that are 40, 50 years old, you've still never had sex with a girl. Like, do you really want to die without ever experiencing sex, being intimate with a woman? Some people are like, oh, I don't want to because I feel ashamed of it. Dude, just give the girl the money and get the sex and get it over with, so you start understanding that it's not really a big deal. It's just not. And once you go through it, and even if you have to do it a couple of times, have sex with one hooker, have sex with another hooker, then you start realizing, man, sex isn't a big deal. Being around women isn't a big deal, and it's just going to take all that weight off your shoulders, so that when you do put on that suit and go out to a nightclub, you'll start talking to ladies, and it won't be a big deal. You'll end up bringing a lady home, you'll have sex with her, you'll be like, wow, It just happened. It's not really a big deal. I can't stress it enough. It's probably one of the best things that you could do to improve the quality of your dating life. Just get a hooker, lose your virginity, and then you can continue in your dating adventure in your life without that stress hanging over your head and your shoulders. Also, very important for virgins out there. You guys understand that, like, the mechanics of sex, some guys have issues getting it up. Sometimes there's performance pressure. Okay, and when you're with a hooker, she's not really gonna judge you. First of all, like, if you went to the extent of meeting a girl through a cold approach, like at a nightclub or a bar, took her out on a date, maybe you guys had a dinner or whatever, end up back at your house, and you know you could tell that it's on, and all of a sudden you're like, you get whiskey dick or something like that. Maybe you guys had a couple of drinks at dinner, and you're just not getting hard. Well, all of a sudden she's gonna be like, oh wow, this guy's like not a real man. He can't get his fucking dick hard. And basically, you might be like, oh baby, this never happens. And oh, it's okay, we'll do it next time. And she leaves. Most of the time, you're never gonna see her again because you'd be like, oh, well, why should I go back on another date with that guy? He couldn't even get it up. Whereas with a hooker, you're paying for her time. She's just gonna lay on her back until you fucking get your dick hard. With a hooker, it's good because you can practice. Now you have her at your house, and if you think about it like it's a real girl, maybe you want to pop like a quarter pill of Viagra or something like that. You can get that prescription easy from any doctor just by saying you have ED, erectile dysfunction, and they'll give you a Viagra or Cialis prescription, Levitra, and then there's some other like generic brands or whatever. It's not that expensive, but basically just like they give you a little pill cutter and you cut it, and just a quarter of a pill, and as soon as you start touching a girl, you'll be up. And the best thing about Viagra is that once you're up, you don't have to think about it. You're just walking around having a conversation and your dick is just up. So you're not worried about like, oh man, I need to get it up. I need to perform good. I need to impress this girl. None of that matters. You can basically just jackhammer a hooker for fucking 30 seconds until you nut. You're not trying to impress her. You're there for a good time, not for a long time. It's not like, you know, you do that with your girlfriend, she's gonna be like, what the fuck? She wants to get off too. With a hooker, you're not trying to make the hooker come. You're trying to get off. The hooker's not there to enjoy herself. She's there for money. It's all about you enjoying yourself. Hookers are also great too to help you practice your techniques. Let's say you're a guy who's a virgin and you don't really know how to change positions. With a hooker, maybe the first couple times you have sex, you get a hooker, the first time you have sex with her, you should just lay her on her back and get it in just so you can go through the act of sex so you can know what it's like. But maybe next week you get another hooker and you want to practice changing positions from her laying on her back and then moving her over into doggy style position. But when you're paying her, again, you're free from the judgment because she's working for you. You can basically say, you can get advice from her, from a female. Well, what do you think if I did this? If I was with a girl, do you like this position better? Should I do it like this? And you can get kind of like a special insight from her. You're not gonna have that conversation with your girlfriend, trust me. And you're not gonna have that conversation with most guys. Maybe with me, with a dating coach, but you're not going to be talking about this stuff with your best friend. Usually guys keep this stuff, private and hidden. Sex dolls I also definitely recommend. Just like hookers, if you can't afford a hooker, you can always still get a sex doll, like special silicone. If you type in TPE sex doll on eBay, there's really, really great ones on there for like about $300. And they're heavy as fuck. They're like 80 pounds, but they bend in every position and you can kind of practice with them. Again, all of this is in my book, and I would definitely recommend it if you want to help improve your dating life and learn how all of this stuff works. Again, like when I say that it doesn't count, kind of like the sex, like if you have sex with a sex doll, it doesn't count. And basically a hooker is kind of like a live sex doll. It's just that she has a pulse and she breathes and, her pussy is warm rather than a sex doll where the pussy is cold unless you put it in the fucking microwave or, you heat. They do have fake pussy warmers that you can actually put inside of the silicone, like fake pussy, pocket pussy, and it will actually warm it up to body temperature, which is pretty cool too. But when you pay a hooker, it's basically like, it's the same thing as having sex with a sex doll. It's just that it's a live sex doll. Again, it doesn't count, but it's good practice. The same way that a boxer or a karate champion or an MMA guy, there's the time that he steps into the ring with a real opponent that's live on TV and they're playing for millions of dollars and they're really fighting for some kind of title. And then there's the times for training when the guy is in the ring with a sparring partner. It's not a real fight, but it's good practice. And if there's not a sparring partner around, you have a heavy bag, which is the same as like a sex doll. So you can punch the heavy bag, you can work on your techniques, your punches, your kicks, your blocks, things like that. And with a sex doll, you can work on your techniques. How do you switch positions, making sure that your dick gets hard and stays hard. Again, I recommend doing both. Practice your techniques with sex dolls. Practice with hookers, because it's training you for the real thing, for real pussy. And ultimately, that's how you become a better seducer, and a better lover, and better in bed. But again, like I said, it's not really something that you want to get into the habit of, let's say, because first of all, it's expensive. If you're a guy who fucking stocks shelves at Home Depot, that's gonna be pretty hard on your pocket. I remember there was a guy who had no game. He could only get hookers, and he refused to go out and cold approach. He just kept, I want sex, I'm gonna pay a hooker. And he was paying like $150 like 2 or 3 times a week. And dude, like that's as much as another rent. That's like a car payment. You can't do that for long term. And also, when we come back to the video game analogy, again, like the reason it doesn't count is because you're getting sex for no effort. In the wild, say in the jungle, only the top males are the ones that are allowed to breed and procreate, have sex with a female, reproduce, and pass on their genes to the next generation before they die. And the weaker animals, they just die off. They just never breed. They're incel animals. So, they're incelibate. They can't attract a female. No females will let them mate with them. They only get a mate with only the top males, the top animals, and those good genes will live on and the weaker genes die out. Women are the gatekeepers to sex. They're the ones that basically choose the males, and in the wild, they don't have the luxury like humans to get a prostitute. Or a lot of these animals, they just go through life and they never can mate with a female. There's plenty of animals that try to do the mating dance and attract a female, and the female's like, no. And she goes over and has sex with a better quality mate with stronger genetics. And these other animals, they just end up walking around, eating, getting old, and then they die virgins, pretty much. Luckily, in the human world, we got that money, and we say, well, women may not be choosing you for breeding, but it doesn't mean that you can't pay $100 and at least experience what sex is like. So it's kind of a way to sample sex. I've gone to talk to some of the people in the brothel over here. I lived up in Reno before too for a couple of years, and it's brothels over there. And talking to the hookers and the staff and the bartenders and the owners and things like that, you get a lot of information. And there are rich people, guys who don't necessarily have game and can't naturally attract women in real life, but they will actually rent out the entire brothel. 20 grand, 50 grand, and there's like 20 girls working, and the guy will basically say, yeah, close down the brothel. I want to rent out the brothel tonight. I'd like to have sex with all these girls, and basically 50 grand, boom. And now he gets 20 naked girls to basically just lay on their backs, and he gets to basically get in each one for a couple of minutes. And now I'm suspecting that probably these guys don't get through all 20 girls, probably for the first 3 or 4, and eventually they just nut, and they're probably not even gonna get that far. But the option of being able to do that is pretty awesome. I don't think that your girlfriend or some girl that you met at a nightclub last night is going to let you basically fuck her and 19 other of her friends. Again, so hookers, when you're paying that money, you get exactly what you want. Your girlfriend or your wife or some girl that you just met, you're not going to get that same opportunity. Now, in the seduction community, in the PUA community, it's technically forbidden to get a hooker. It's against PUA code. And a lot of these other dating coaches will be like, no, you can't do that. It's shameful. Even women will shame you for it. Oh, you gonna get a prostitute? Oh, you're not a real man. Dude, fuck that shit. If you want to get some sex, if you want to fucking get a quick nut, dude, get a hooker. It's not a big deal. Do the act, have fun, and then move on with your life. But I would recommend that you learn game, because like I said, this is not a habit that you can keep up for long term. It's expensive for most guys. And eventually a lot of you guys are going to want a relationship. You're going to want to find a girlfriend or find a wife, and that's not going to happen just fucking hookers. Also, when you learn game, you will be able to get laid for free, and you won't have to have sex with hookers anymore unless you just feel like it. When you learn game, a lot of times you won't be having to take girls out on stupid dates anymore. You'll know how to create attraction with them, and you'll be able to just get them straight back to your house and have sex with them on your couch. Because generally in the PUA community, they look at buying hookers as a low value male trait, because it's a guy who basically doesn't have any game. He has no choice but to pay for pussy. And when you're a guy with game, you don't gotta pay for pussy. Actually, a lot of times girls will be paying for your company if your game is tight. I can't tell you how many times that I've run game on a girl and she's taken me out to dinner. She's the one buying the drinks. She is the one bringing over a bottle of wine when she comes to hang out. She's the one working for my attention. It's like flipping the script on the whole thing, instead of you guys trying to take the girl out, trying to pay for the girl's dinner in hopes of getting that pussy. But like I said, when you learn game, you'll be able to get laid for free. You won't have to buy hookers unless you want to. And once again, I'll reiterate, I have game. I don't have to pay for pussy. I can just put on a nice shirt, go out to a nightclub, start approaching girls, and basically create attraction, get their phone numbers, and then convert those phone numbers into dates, and then convert those dates into sex, all for free. But like I said, there's plenty of times when, I work here at the house. That's my office right over there, where I edit all my videos. And there are plenty of times when I wake up in the morning, get some coffee, work on my video editing, film a video like this, then edit it, and I'm exhausted at the end of the day. I'm mentally drained. There is no way that I want to deal with people and go socialize and conversate with people. Like, I don't even want to talk to nobody. I just want to fucking bust a nut and then go to sleep. And that's where hookers are awesome, because now I can just get on the internet, find a hooker, negotiate a price, $150, $200. The girl comes straight to your house like ordering a pizza. Shows up at your door, she wears a nice outfit, basically tell her, look, it's been a long day, I just want to fuck, and then you gotta go. And the girl will go, okay, cool. You give her the money, she gets undressed, she lays on her back, pump and dump. After I bust a nut, she's out, she's gone. Then I'm like, ooh, now I'm relaxed, crack open a beer, have a cigarette, put on some ASMR videos, fall asleep, and I'm good, I'm out. Done. I could rub one out before I go to sleep. That's free too. It's kind of the same thing. It's just that now I have like a nice warm hold. It's not my hand. That's why hookers are dope. Also, when you have game, sometimes you could be gaming a hooker and she might give you a freebie. I've had that happen a couple times. There's this one pickup line that I really like to use sometimes, because a hooker is basically like her own boss. She's in charge of her own time, right? And a lot of these hookers down, like especially on Las Vegas Boulevard, they usually get, what they do is they're either local, or they're coming in from like California, from like LA or San Francisco, and basically they'll get a hotel room, and then they'll just walk around and then they'll bring guys up to the hotel room, and they'll come up to you and they'll say things like, you're looking for a date, do you want to party, hey, where are you staying at, anything like that. And you can just tell the way she's dressed with the stiletto heels, or she's got the fucking knee-high, thigh-high boots. Just the way they're talking and they're acting, you could tell that she's a working girl. And then I'll say basically like, oh, what time did you start? And she says, oh, I came on about 6 in the morning, kind of like an Uber driver. And then I'll say, well, looks like you've been working real hard. You should give yourself a 15-minute break and come have a drink with me. And then the girl will be like, okay. And usually that's a sign to let me know that she's interested in me beyond just being a customer. And that gives me basically a small little window to spend some time with her, spit a little game, demonstrate some value, and then basically let her know that I'm not a customer, that I'm not the type of guy who pays for pussy, and that I'm just hanging out having fun. And then basically I will still escalate the situation, and then sometimes the girl will take you up to her room and she'll fuck you for free, which is pretty rewarding when you can pick up a hooker and not have to pay for it. That's when you know that your fucking game is like on point. That's like master level game. And then a lot of people will say, well, that can't be possible, like they pay for it. It's like, well, women are still females. They still respond to their emotions. And if you can trigger the right emotions and trigger attraction, the girl will still have sex with you and not charge you for it. But I'm not gonna say it happens all the time, but it has happened a couple times for me, and I think that's pretty dope. I would say that is something to brag about. In fact, and I'm being serious here, I should be given an award for that. But again, as a dating coach, it gets annoying because like there's so many fucking guys out there where I'm like, yeah, get some coaching with me and I'll teach you the game. And then people are like, oh, $99 for an hour, $2,000 for a day, just get a hooker, bro. And it's like, that's the stupidest advice I've ever fucking heard, Because how many times are you going to pay $300 for a hooker before you're broke? Whereas, for example, instead, if you took that same $300 and you got 3 hours of coaching with me on Zoom, I can teach you exactly how to approach women, exactly how to create attraction with them. I can teach you exactly what to do and say in order to get a phone number. I can teach you how to convert that phone number into a date via phone or text game. I can teach you exactly what to do on the date in order to take it physical, to get the first kiss, to get the girl back to your house so you can start the physical escalation towards sex. And once you get the sex with the girl, I can teach you how to convert her into your girlfriend or a long-term relationship, or put her on rotation with a lot of other girls that you're seeing. And once you get coaching with me and once you learn the game, you have that skill set for life. You'll never have to pay hookers again unless you feel like it. So when people text me stupid shit like that or put that in the comment, I'm always like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. So you could keep paying hookers $300 a week. You know, once a week is, per month is $1,200 a month. If you want to keep doing that, you'll be broke. You could pay a dating coach like me one time. You pay me $2,000 for a day to work with me, or you pay me $99 for an hour on Zoom. I can teach you the game. And once you learn the game, that's a skill set you keep for life. You'll be able to attract endless amounts of women without having to pay for it ever again. So by that token, I'm actually saving you money. And I don't mean just a little money. I mean like tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars for the remainder of your life. If you're a guy who's just going to keep paying hookers until you're 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years old, or you could get a session with me and learn the entire game so that you'll have a skill set for the rest of your life to be able to attract women for free. Or again, you can pick up my new book, How to Pick Up Hot Women, and I explain the entire game in it, over 600 pages, basically helping you to improve and master every single part of the entire game, from approaching women, to creating attraction, to getting phone numbers, to going on dates, to having sex, and creating and sustaining a long-term relationship, if that's what you want, if that's how you want to play the game. All right, at that, I think we covered most of the major points about this subject. So again, if you're an 18-year-old virgin and you still haven't managed to lose your virginity in high school, just get a hooker. If you're getting older, if you're in your 20s, 30s, or you're going on your 40s and 50s and you still have never been with a woman, just get a hooker, have the sex, know what it's like, get the pressure off of your shoulders, and then move on in the dating game and learn game so that you can attract women and not have to pay for it and actually really get laid. And at that, I think I'm going to end it there. It was fun hanging out. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more. Leave your comments in the box below. Let me know if you guys have a certain topic or subject that you want me to talk about in terms of women, dating, or relationships. And I'll try to get through that. I read all the comments. And at that, I'm going to end it at that. Good luck and game on, fellas. Peace.